Students and teachers can interact by as a student enters the room. At the beginning of the school day, all they have to do is drag their name over to the At School column. And once all the students that enter the room drag their name over to the At School column, and the teacher will know what students are at school and what students are at home. This allows the students to interact in the morning without being out of their seat, up and around, and allows them to do something up at the front of the room. Once the teacher sees all the students sitting down, all she has to do is grab her pen and go over to these boxes on the right side and show her students how many total students there are, how many students are absent, and how many students are present. The students present in this example are 5, so she would write the number 5 in this box. And the students absent are quite a few, so she would just have to write that number in that box, and then the total students up in this top box. So there are 20, 'That way kids can see which of their friends are at home and which of their friends came to school that day. And on the next page we have the calendar that shows students visually the days of the month and visually the days of the week, and visually what day, what number of the month it is that they're in school. The teacher can have a designated student that comes up to the smartboard and drags that day up to the designated square. '17 up to this square. Say if it was a weekend, then a student would drag up the Saturday to its square. And then the Sunday to its square. And then finally the Monday, which would be the Monday that they would be at school. Then the student can take the pointing hand and drag it to the day that they're on. And you'll notice music notes by the months of the year and the days of the week, because each classroom has a certain song that they sing every time they look at the calendar in order to remember what order these days and these months go in. And at the top you can see how a student has got to come up to the board and write what the date was and what the month was. And at the bottom, the teacher can ask the students what day yesterday was, and a student can drag what day the yesterday was. And then a student can drag what day today is, and then what day tomorrow will be. The next page can depend on whether a teacher likes doing this or not, showing the weather and having students drag what the weather is outside that day, or you can predict what you think the weather will be like throughout the week. Then you can mark what days it was sunny and what days it was cloudy. Say if it was sunny on Monday, we predicted, but it ended up being rainy, all you'd have to do is drag the rain cloud up to Monday So it might be kind of sunny, but also rainy. You could put both of those there. And on the next page, just another interaction throughout the day, numbers. Students can count the balloons. Teacher can take the balloons from the bottom and drag it up to become more balloons in the box. And all the student has to do is change the number with the pin in the box above the balloons. Once the teacher decides how many balloons she wants to drag into the box. And the students can interact by touching each balloon as they count. At the top, there are ways where students can represent where on the number line it is the number that they just wrote, and they can drag the star over to the number. Say if they change it to 3 balloons, all they would have to do is drag the star over to the number 3 to show where their number is on the number line. The next activity has to do with shapes. A lot of these interactions are easy to do because it's math related. The shapes have categories, and a student will get called up to the board and is told to pick a shape and to put it into its category. So if a student picked this small circle, they would just drag it up near the circle category. And if a student picked this small square, all they would have to do is drag it over to the square category. Which isn't easy enough. A lot of these activities are for kindergarten and up because they're very straightforward, very concrete, but allow students to interact and think as they go. The next one is an example of Cuisinart rods teaching math, hundreds, tens, ones, a big visualization up on the smartboard, which makes it really big up on the wall and easy to see. And all the teacher has to do is add, if she wants to add more blocks to the ones column, or if she wants to add more tens, and then change the number that's in the box. All you have to do is drag these number blocks up into this box to change it. And then working with patterns, all the student has to do, or the teacher can stay up and do it. Triangle, triangle, square, what comes after the square, triangle, and the student would just have to pick. This might be a little bit high up on the board, so the teacher might have to do this. But the students just say what shape comes next, and the teacher drags it to the corresponding area. And the last slide that we have has to do with, again, with counting and how they can correspond. Teachers can kind of do what they please at the top. You can either write in the boxes or drag these buttons over. 1 button plus 1 button equals 2 buttons. And then with these popcorns, they can drag the word to the corresponding number over to the right, so they can see how each number is spelled. So 1 goes with 1, and the 8 goes with the 8. And like I said at the top, you can use these concrete visualizations for younger students, like this 1 button. And as you can see, there's more buttons underneath the button that I drag. So there's enough if you wanted to do more than one. Say 1 button plus Another button. Over on this side of the plus sign would equal 2 buttons at the end. And you can do it by color or just do it with the same, like I said, because there's other buttons underneath the other ones that I dragged, just to show the visualization of adding numbers and shapes and items. And like I said, teachers can really do anything they want with any of these activities or change them. It's really easy to edit and download these smartboard activities for students to interact throughout the day.